Three runs in, one man on, and one out here in the third as they call the Hogs.
This is where Hilliard has to understand there's no one warming up in the bullpen. The first of three games this series, you cannot use up your bullpen, especially against this offense.
And that's the challenge that LSU has on the weekend right now. You don't have Cole Henry, who really had proven to be a guy that looked like an ace. The decision has been made to move Zach Hess back to the bullpen, which I think is a right one. And so they're searching to find those guys that can get them 5 or 6 innings and really give them a chance to save the bullpen opening night.
Miguel Hilliard pitching in front of a rowdy crowd here at Baum-Walker Stadium. One of the reasons he signed with LSU was when he took his first trip to the Alec Bach Stadium at a 15-year-old. There are two things he remembered from that game. Number one is that Jared Poche was on the mound. Number two is that the atmosphere was absolutely crazy. He's getting the other end of that here tonight. There's a great feature written on him by Ron Higgins on NOLA.com last year when Hilliard was having such a unique and successful freshman season. 1-0 to Jack Kenley. This one is going to drop in front of Zach Watson. Headed to third is Kerstad. Throw there is cut off. Smith with a wise move, and runners at the corners for Arkansas. Kel Hilliard has thrown 65 pitches. His team trails 6-2. And behind him in the right field bullpen, Riggs Threadgill, freshman right-hander, is starting to get loose.
Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio. It's the Friday edition, and you know what that means. It's the A edition. It's a lot going on, a lot of smiles around Fayetteville, Arkansas today as the number 4 ranked Arkansas Razorbacks took care of business, Demetrius, by knocking off the Bayou Bengals, 17th ranked LSU, 14-4. Yes, I said it, 14-4. For only the 7th win in the last 23. Arkansas goes, I think, 7-22 in the last 29 ball games versus LSU. But it was a big one, very resounding win, and just go to show just where Coach Dave Van Horn and his young men and the Razorback Omaha are headed. Hopefully they will go ahead and get the sweep today as first pitch, 6:30 from Baum-Walker Stadium. I'm pretty sure, Demetrius, is going to be a very, very festive crowd. But before I bring in my co-host, producer Demetrius, Demigod, my home guy on the show, I want to get you ready. At 1:15, we're going to talk recruiting. The Must Bus, he's bringing in those kids and seeing if they might like to stay a while. We'll talk a little recruiting with Kevin McPherson of Arkansas Hoops and Hogville.net. And then we'll follow that up with Porter Hayes of Sport and Culture. He's going to be a new segment to the show. We'll talk about, just some of the things we can, for the future, get ready to hear from Porter. But now I want to bring in my guy, Demetrius. What's up, my brother?
I'm glad it's Friday.
Everybody's always TGIFing, but it's been a blessed week for me. Always. Always. And we get to go get some really good food here in a little bit.
Oh yeah, shout out to that boy KDK's Chicken, man. If y'all around, you definitely got to stop at the shack, man. Great food, great waffles. Just good guy to be around. Very in tune with the Razorback culture, former player. So
that's located on MLK, right in the Car-Mart parking lot.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna go down and get some good waffles, some good chicken. I hear the chicken chunks, Demetrius. What I'm gonna try today is pretty dadgum good.
Hey, the young folks say FYE. FYE.
That's the new word. Kevin McPherson will be up, and Connor Vanover, so a young man that's taking an official visit, is on campus right now. 7'3", former Arkansas Baptist young man that went on, spent a few years out at California University, decided to come back home, and we'll talk to Kevin about that. Demetrius, the Must Bus still needs a couple more to jump on. I know he's stated that he's going to have 3 scholarships available, with 1 already taken, 2 available. These are going to be some important young men that we'll talk to Kevin about here momentarily.
Definitely, and not only just players. I think still there's coaching staff as well. I think they still need to finalize that staff so that he can have the needed assistance to really go bag in those extra guys that he probably couldn't get on his own.
Well, we're going to step away and we're going to start getting this thing going. Next up, we're going to have a chance to catch up with a couple other players last night and to hear what they had to say. Casey Martin, just to name a few. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.
Guys, what was the key to hitting Hilliard tonight? Trevor, what do you think the key was?
Yeah, well, he's got a good breaking ball with the high spin and got a lot of break on it, so we really had to get that up, not swing at it in the dirt, and hit his fastball when he left it over the plate. So I think we did a really good job of that there, and either the third or the fourth we had the big inning, so that was a good inning for us.
Did either of you get a sense during batting practice that the ball might be flying out the way today?
Oh yeah, the wind it's been blowing all day. The ball traveled in BP, so we had an idea it'd probably travel for both teams today.
Arkansas kid, does it feel good to beat LSU like you did?
I'd say so. It really just coming out on a Friday night. That's what it's all about, coming out and getting the wins on Friday night, no matter who. That feels great.
Or Thursday.
Thursday night, good point.
Jack, the big inning, can you just talk about what you saw and the circumstances that led to your grand slam?
Yeah, so basically what Trevor said, we just did a really good job in batting practice and leading up to the game and preparing for what we know Hilliard has, and it's a really good breaker, and hunting that up and getting to see a bunch of guys in front of me be really disciplined with their approaches and sticking to that, getting on base. Obviously, it's wonderful to hit a home run like that, but as long as we can have good approaches and pushing guys across the plate, no matter how it happens, it's a good thing.
What does it mean for you to start off a series against these guys in this manner?
Taking that first one is huge, especially against a really talented team like that. But Marty said it already, and anyone will tell you that baseball is just a crazy sport. So we could have a blowout win today or a nail biter, and tomorrow would be the exact opposite. So just getting that first one on our belt, just getting the wiggles out for the opening game of the series is big.
I assume that's what Coach Van Horn talked to you about, is that 14-4 doesn't mean a lot the next 2 days.
Correct, yeah. Yep, said just baseball's a funny sport. Don't get too high, don't get too low. If it was your day, good. If it wasn't, we got tomorrow.
Kind of wishing that one fair. That grand slam, were you able to watch it as you were running the bases?
Watched it a little bit, got enough of it that I...
Welcome back. It's our Friday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, coming to you each and every day here on KDSJ 479. And Arkansas in the Must Bus. They're starting to bring them in to see if some of the young men want to stay as there. I got 2 big-time visitors in, and what better way to get an update than to catch up with our good friend of AR Hoops and Hogville.net, Kevin McPherson. Kev, welcome back, my man.
Good to be back with you, Pat.
Then obviously Arkansas, hosting Connor Vanover today with another official visitor scheduled to arrive today for his official. Talk about those two young men, and what might the fans keep an eye on with these two that are making their way to Fayetteville over the weekend.
Well, a couple of things. I think if you look at what Musselman's done, even with the first grad transfers, Antel Silla, who was announced this week formally as joining the team, the 6'7" forward from the grad transfer from North Carolina Wilmington, who visited April 20th, committed that weekend. But that guy at 6'7" stretch 4 is going to be a guy that can shoot a little bit. He shot, a decent average, 31% from 3. But when you look at Vanover and when you look at Isaiah Moss, the grad transfer from Iowa, both of these guys can shoot the ball again. Vanover's at 7'3", shot 36% as a freshman last year at Cal from 3-point percentage. And then you look at Isaiah Moss, a 6'5" wing out of Iowa, grad transfer. He was like top 5 in the Big Ten and shot over, I think, close to 43% from 3. So you're seeing this. And then both guys can shoot free throws. I mean, Moss is a 80% free throw shooter. Connor Vanover's right around 67%, but he'll be better than that. I think that's freshman jitters. I think he's a 70 to 80% free throw shooter typically. But the point about these guys is when you look at Musselman's pace and space philosophy, he talks a lot about getting the 3 ball up, spreading the floor out, having everybody at every position, all 5 guys on the court able to shoot the ball. If you're not shooting threes, he wants to get all the way to the basket, where you either get an easy high percentage shot or get fouled and get to that free throw line. So you look at the recruiting right now, and these visitors this weekend, Pat, kind of a long way around getting to this answer. It seems to me that these guys fit what they're looking for in that system.
When you look at this staff, I mean, they've been really, really busy over the last week to 10 days or so by, trying to get out and see the Moses Moody's, the Chris Moores. Talk about just, from all that you've heard in the early part of Arkansas and these coaches, branding the university, but also building relationships. How has that going? And what's your general take when you talk to these young men about about Coach Williams and about Coach Musselman?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're off to a good start. They've made a lot of offers. The feedback I've gotten from players is there's been good interaction with Musselman, coach, assistant coach, William, some of the staff coaches that will not be typical assistant coaches. They'll be behind the scenes, Anthony Rita and Hayes Myers. But right now, those guys are all involved while Musselman still looks at hiring 2 permanent staff positions for assistant coaches. But I think so far, all of them have done a great job not only covering when they can, the live evaluation period in April, the follow-up the next 4 days last week of doing the go and do on-campus visits. They really covered this really well and very thoroughly. And the feedback I've gotten from the players is the meetings with these coaches have been really good. The banter, the back and forth, the relationship building, it's all been positive so far. So, if you want to hear those things, I think it's good to establish a reputation of not only casting a wide net, but making sure you're not just putting offers out there and ignoring these guys. I think they've done a good job staying on the radar and keeping up with them.
When you look at this staff, they've quite the offers with the 2020 and 2021 young men at the high school ranks, which I know that was one of the bigger questions. How would Coach Muss, really value the high school recruit coming to Arkansas with his track record with so many grad transfers there at Nevada? But when you look at this, I mean, talk about some of the newer offers that this staff has awarded here over the last couple of days, and what can we expect on down the line for some maybe possible offers that maybe you might know of here in the foreseeable future?
Well, again, I mean, they put out an offer to the class of 2022, a freshman, their first one to a freshman, Darian Ford out of Magnolia. Now, this young man has really been a big-time player already, and especially this spring so far playing on the Under Armour circuit. And he's playing up with the 16 and under Team South out of a Little Rock-based organization on the Under Armour circuit, which is one of 3 major shoe circuits. He's the second leading scorer on that circuit. And again, he should be at 15U based on his age. He's playing up 16U, second leading scorer at that level, almost 23 points a game. But he's already got offers from Baylor and Texas A&M and TCU and Oklahoma State. And he recently picked up an Alabama offer, another offer from Fresno State. And then just a day or so ago, Arkansas got involved. 2 days ago, Arkansas offered him a scholarship, and Eric Musselman actually spoke with him yesterday. Darian Ford, 6'3" combo guard out of Magnolia. Now, they won the 4A state title. They upset Little Rock Mills in that game. And Ford got a big shot block on Kevin Cross, the senior forward, to close out a tight win in that championship game. Like I said, he's done nothing, hit the ground running so far this spring since the high school season ended, and then these offers are starting to pour in for a high school freshman. That's big time. And so you start again talking about some of the guys that you talk about casting a wide net. There's been over 10 offers out, or around 10 offers out to 5-star players around the country. And then several high-level 4-stars as well. So, in the grad transfers and the transfers are important, but they've also shown that they're going to get out there and address the high school recruiting as well, Pat.
The one thing that a friend of mine, close mutual friend of Coach Musselman, is the one thing he's always told me is that nobody's going to brand or promote their program like Eric Musselman. Kind of has somewhat of the John Calipari approach in that he knows how to market his program. Talk about what you were able to see while you were in the gyms in Dallas when Eric and staff were in. How did you feel the branding? Could you feel the aura when they knew Coach Musselman was around and Arkansas was in the building, based on just how he's able to I guess represent himself?
Yeah, I mean, and they did a really good job of. It's really interesting. They set these things up where there's chairs around the court for coaches in certain places, and it's marked off for coaches. There's an area for family and fans, and then there's areas for media. And around each court, there's chairs set up. Also, some backstops behind the goals. And some of the coaches will actually stand up so that they stand out, and they're right behind the basket where players have to see them. And their logos on their school gear. And I thought Arkansas did a good job of not only being there and with 2 or 3 coaches to watch a Kyrie Walker or a Dalen Terry, or even some of the younger guys on the 16 under and 15 under Joe Johnson Hawks in-state guys they have interest in. They not only did a good job of getting 1, 2, 3 coaches for each of these games, but they'd also do a good job of standing up and getting away from the area and being seen. Recruiting is not just about evaluation and relationship building, but it's also about being seen. Right. Just being seen. These kids know when you're there, man. They see those. They know who these coaches are, and they see the logos on the gear they're wearing when they're at these events. And so that's a big deal. That's part of the branding. And I thought Musselman and his staff did a good job in Dallas that weekend. They were also in Atlanta. I'm sure they did the same things there. I wasn't there, but I was there to see it firsthand in Dallas.
Real quick before I let you go, I want everyone to know that I've just tuned in. We're talking with Kevin McPherson of AR Hoop Scoop, and also Hogville.net covers hog recruiting for us here on OTH. Does a great job, but real quick, got about a minute left, Kevin. What are you hearing as far as the 2 remaining spots as far as assistants are going in? What new names, or is it still basically the same names that we've been hearing the last few weeks?
Well, there's a lot of names out there, Pat. I know a lot of coaches that are interested and want those jobs. But there's a lot. I mean, he's anywhere between 30 and 50 coaches he's already talked to and began vetting and sometimes talking to multiple times. That number is probably growing because that was a number that I got, almost 2 weeks ago. So, just a lot there. Some of them are off the board. Some are probably still being considered. I think there's more coming. As far as specifics, it's I've heard a lot. So nothing that stands out right now necessarily. But again, I think he's taking his time, and this is his process. It's not a situation where he's being worked over and not able to hire anybody. He's really vetting this. He's being meticulous, and that's his call on that.
All right, well, always, my man, solid. And we'll catch up sometime next week, because I know you'll be on the phones trying to find out how these visits go over the next 24 to 48 hours. But as always, Kevin, thanks for taking time out here on OTH, brother.
As always, for me, it's good to be with you. Thank you.
That was Kevin McPherson of AR Hoop Scoop and Hogville.net. But we want to continue on. And next up, we're going to have Sporting Culture's Porter Hayes. But first off, we caught up with the head hawk, Dave Van Horn, and he's going to recap just his team's big 14-4 victory last night at Baum Walker. It's on the hill with Pat Jenkins, and it's the 8. Back in a moment.
I feel like Isaiah got off to a little bit of a slow start. Give LSU's offense credit; they did a nice job first couple of innings, and but we kept answering. Martin tied it up with a home run there in the bottom of the first, and the second inning we're down 2-1, 2 quick outs, and then I think Nesbitt got a base hit and Opitz hit the first pitch off the back wall, and we all of a sudden we're up a run, and seemed like Isaiah settled in after that, and started throwing the ball over the plate a little more, getting ahead of the hitters, and then obviously we put together a couple of nice innings, and it was good that Isaiah gave us six good innings, and we had a chance to get him out at about 95 pitches or so, and but it was just it was a good ball game for us, obviously.
You lost so many power hitters off last year's team, but you hit a lot of home runs this year. Is there any surprise at the power of the team this year?
I would say the guys that are hitting home runs, not necessarily. We thought Kenley was going to hit some more home runs this year. I didn't know he'd get to double digits. We thought he'd get close. He does a nice job of fouling off pitches and taking pitches and getting some good pitches to hit. And but we've hit a few here and there, and a lot of times the second half of the season when your team usually hits them, warms up a little bit, guys are in a little bit more of a groove offensively, seeing the ball better. But I don't even know how many we have, but every now and then it's nice to hit some and put up some quick runs, and that's what we did tonight.
Dave, you don't usually beat LSU by this kind of margin. I mean, it had a little different feel to it.
Well, I just think that we put up a couple of pretty good innings there, and that we had Isaiah going, and I think they, maybe on the pitching side for them, they felt like that, they were going to save some guys because they've got guys down there with more experience at pitch tonight. I mean, Beck's one of their better guys. I mean, numbers wise, I don't know, why they brought him in, but he did slow the game down a lot. Either way, whether we're on the good side of that score or not, that's not a normal game for us in LSU.
What was it that Isaiah was able to do after that kind of slow start?
Well, he started getting ahead of hitters. He just kind of relaxed. It's almost like, at the beginning of the game, he wasn't throwing the ball really where he wanted to, and got behind. And Smith, the first hitter of the game, kind of gets a jam shot, and then it's kind of on from there a little bit. But I've said this many a time this year that Campbell, a lot of times in the past, he might have given up more runs, but he's learned how to get out of those jams, and he just gave up one. And then obviously they had a home run in the next inning. You just tip your cap to Cabrera. He's a really, really good hitter. Probably one of the top hitters in our league. And solo home runs don't beat you a lot of times. So those three.
Went out to talk to him on the 3-1 pitch, I think.
Who did?
Casey Opitz went out to talk to him, and I think the next pitch was hit hard. You know what that was about, or what he might have said?
I think they were just getting their signals right because there was a runner on second. And I don't know if there was, Casey felt like that the runner on second might be noticing something and signaling some things to the hitter. So he didn't tell him to throw it down the middle so he could hit it out of the park. I can guarantee you that.
LSU got that run in the first. Took a little bit of the life out of the ballpark, and then Martin got the hit. How much?
Welcome back. It's on the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's our Friday edition, and it's our A edition. But real quick, before we get on to our next guest, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Lindsay and Associates, with an office location in Fayetteville and office location also too in Rogers, the Baymont Hotel, Locomotion, just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall, our newest sponsor, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. But we want to introduce someone that's going to be joining our show as a new segment to the show. He's going to do a lot of coverage as it all started back in the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament. Sport and Cultures, Porter Hayes. Porter, welcome to OTH, my man. Talk about sport and culture, and you and I have spoke through media, social media, unfortunately, playing phone tag, but it all started back during that SEC basketball run with the Women's Razorback program. Talk about what sport and culture and what you'll be bringing to on the Hill, as we'll have you on. I believe we're intended talks at least twice a week, I know.
Yeah, basically what culture is itself. We mix, the sports with the culture, and kind of we step outside of that box when it comes to the stories we go grab and what we're looking at. And basically, I have ties, with both Arkansas and South Carolina, which that's where, Greenville, South Carolina, where the SEC Women's Tournament was, and there was just such an outpour of media and a fan base that followed out there that it really caught our eye. So we decided to branch it out and kind of use me as a tool to get that word out in Arkansas and make specific portion for so what I've done is different stories. I covered a Special Olympics track meet down in Greenville, that my son participated in, and then I reached out to War Machine, who does the YouTube videos for all the highlight films of former players and teams. You go after those stories that not too many people go after because you feel like that there's something to be heard, and that's what we do.
Porter, you've had a chance. I know through our conversation, you had a chance to follow Coach Chad Morris at Clemson. Talk about what the fan base can expect. During the Chad Morris era, now this being year 2. What can they look for when Chad builds this culture?
A lot of excitement. Before Chad Morris, was at Clemson, there was that episode out there about Clemson. They always seem to, get a little close, but they just couldn't quite get there. And, when Allen first got hired, they considered it quality, and they did a quality hire. Then he added his own, and got his family built, and he brought in Chad Morris, and, he got it set fire, and he is the reason why the whole offensive explosion at Clemson. And, when he got Deshaun Watson and Purdy, that's all it takes is a start to get something rolling. And if you go back, Clemson wasn't a top tier program 10 years ago. And you look at Arkansas and where they're at. If they believe in him and they buy into his system and they let him build the pieces, and the future is not.
I want to talk to you a question, Porter. Arkansas just announced in football in 2021 that they'll be playing UAPB. You've heard multiple years throughout the state that, they should play the ASUs, the Arkansas Little Rocks, whatnot. What does this do for the state of Arkansas? Not only for, the program on the Hill, but throughout the state, more so does it have, in my opinion, this is going to pay more dividends than just athletically, when you talk about keeping the in-state kids in state.
Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, if you announce in 5 years that Arkansas is going to play Arkansas State at War Memorial Stadium opening weekend, you will pack the house. That is guaranteed. And two, you got to get over the stubbornness of one help another that pull over to the east out. You got to get stubborn and pay the other schools in the state. You keep the money in the state. Other state schools to come in and play in 20,000 to So not only are you paying at Arkansas State $9 to play, you're going to get those tickets to 50,000. It's guaranteed. Now you won't get 50,000 when they play UAPB,
right?
But it's a start. It's a step in the right direction. I do think that Hunter Yurchek, man, between the playing and these coaching, this dude's setting that place on fire up on the hill.
Last question before I let you go, and I want everyone to know that we're joined by Porter Hayes, new regular guest that will be joining us at least twice a week here on the Hill from Sport and Culture. When you look at this women's basketball team under Coach Mike Neighbors, what is your way too early prediction for the 2019-2020 version under Coach Neighbors?
Man, it's tough because I don't want to do anything. The way they played in that tournament and that hunger they have, there's no doubt this could be a top 3-4 team against the SEC women's overall, not just the West, but overall. They've already beat the Texas A&M and the South Carolina and the Georgia to that final to get Mississippi State. So, they got that fire knowing those teams, to the limit. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to win the whole competition, but it could be a possibility. They just ain't no SEC champion.
Well, as always, my man, looking forward to having you join us here on the Hill multiple times throughout the week. But as always, hey, Porter, thanks for taking time out here on the Hill, my buddy.
Hey, no problem, man. Thank you so much. Looking forward to talking to you.
All right. That was Porter Hayes of Sport and Culture. Want to step away, get a real quick break, and then I'm going to come back, and Demetrius and I are going to wrap this thing up, talk about some of the more interesting things, points that we got from this week here on OTH and what we're going to be looking for and discussing and what's in the future in the coming weeks. It's all going to happen here. It's on the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479.
Well, that was why I asked a question.
He was with the Tigers.
Isn't he? Uh-oh. Kerstead just about got caught in no man's land.
Got a couple big home runs also for the White Sox this year.
Yeah, he's with the White Sox.
Mm-hmm. 350 average. I believe he's 0 for 2 tonight for the Pale Hose.
For the White Sox?
Yep.
Yes.
Three balls and a strike to Opitz. There's ball 4. Razorbacks are going to send 9 to the plate here in the 3rd inning.
Got to give him one more hitter. Christian Franklin struck him out last time. Right-handed hitter. Try to get out of this one. With the bases, oh my. Here come the Hats.
Bases are loaded. Now for the bottom of the 5th, they'd have to change the glassware.
Love the tradition here.
Christian Franklin out of Rockhurst High School in Kansas City. Looks at a curveball for a strike. Guy's got 2 mugs. Double fisting from row 2.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's our Friday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio as we let you hear and let you watch a few closing highlights from last night's 14-4 Arkansas victory over the LSU Tigers. I want to give a thank you to our guest, Kevin McPherson of AR Hoop Scoop and HogBill.net. Also to Porter Hayes of Sport and Culture, my producer, Demetrius Johnston, demigod, but we all know he's my home guy here on the show. To all our sponsors, Lindsay & Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also to in Rogers, the Baymont Hotel located at 735 South Shiloh Drive in Fayetteville, Locomotion located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall, and our newest sponsor, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. It's been a great week, and we hope you have a great weekend, and You'll join us back here on Monday as we'll have a lot to talk about. Remember, Arkansas's first opening pitch tonight, 6:30, as they'll take on the LSU Tigers in Game 2 at Baum Walker Stadium. It's on the Hill with Pat Jenkins. You guys have a blessed one. Holla.